Hi guys, and welcome to this week's QR Code Series episode. So we have a very special team lined up to play on the series this week. We had a request last week to play a team that revolved around Pheromosa abusing that speed swap move that it has access to. So when we got the request, the first team that popped into my mind was a team that was created and played on his channel by Aaron Cybertron Zheng. So you guys must know Aaron. He's one of the top US players in VGC. He's got 1,000,001 accolades to his name, so he's just a great player all around. So that was the first team that popped into my head, and I thought to myself, I wonder if Aaron would mind me playing the team on the channel, because Aaron obviously created the team and then featured it on his Road to Rank series on his channel, so I was a bit like, he's played it quite a lot, he might not want it featured on another YouTube channel. So I thought, just out of courtesy for Aaron, I'd go ahead and ask him. So I got in touch with him and I was like, dude, do you mind me playing the team on your on my channel this week and featuring it? And Aaron literally is one of the nicest guys in VGC. He's like one of the coolest. He's like one of my favorite people in the VGC community. Not for just what he's done, but just his personality, and he's just an amazing guy. So I'll stop the bro crush here. But Aaron didn't mind at all. He was super happy for me to feature the team on the channel, and I'm really looking forward to kind of featuring it myself. It looks a lot of fun, and I do remember watching his Road to Rank videos where he was playing it, and I'm really looking forward to trying to get that speed swap onto the Snorlax with a belly drum up and then start a sweep. So before we do anything else, guys, we'll just quickly recap over what the team consists of. So we've got the Arcanine there, is holding the choice band. So very offensive Arcanine, running Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Extreme Speed and Close Combat. Also having the Intimidate there, that's going to just support the rest of the team. We've got Pheromosa, the kind of centerpiece around why we're using this team with that speed swap. Poison Jab, High Jump Kick, Protect, running the Poisonium Z, which is amazing because you're going to be able to nuke pretty much any Tapu that you see, and you're pretty much guaranteed to pick up the one-hit KO on it with that attack, the Acid Downpour there. We've got Persian, Alolan Persian as well, with one of the supporting casts of this team with Fake Out, Foul Play, Parting Shot and Quash, holding the Mago Berry. And the Quash on the Persian here is really interesting, which it's a nice tech I do like, and I haven't played with it all this season on the Persian, when we have featured it on the channel so far. So it's going to be really good to support things like Arcanine and Finny and Snorlax that are the more slower components of this team, especially when you're facing down against maybe a bit of a faster threat that you need to hit with one of those partnering Pokemon. You can just quash it, get your attack off, and really kind of keep that momentum going. So hopefully we can kind of utilize that. We're not going to have too many games with the team today, so there are going to be components of the team that we aren't going to get to see, which is a bit unfortunate, but hopefully we can kind of squeeze all of those in there so we can kind of see the majority of things going on. Another supporting member of the team and a bit of a more offensive Pokemon, the Alolan Ninetales. Running Blizzard, Freeze Dry, Aurora Veil and Protect. So that Aurora Veil there is going to be so handy for especially the Snorlax getting set up with that belly drum, and just in general supporting the rest of the team, boosting those defenses. We have the other centerpiece of the team in that Snorlax, running Belly Drum, Facade, Recycle and Stockpile. And Stockpile is something I haven't ran on Snorlax this season, so that's going to be really interesting to boost those defenses. And once it gets this like 3 stockpiles up, you can freely belly drum it. Then what can your opponent really do to you, especially if you can speed swap onto it as well and just switch speeds with Pheromosa. Snorlax becomes a bit scary at that point, so we'll see what we can do with it. The team is very well known, so I'm assuming a lot of players that we're going to face on the battle spot today will know about the team and how it operates, so we're going to have to be a bit smarter than just kind of launching in and just going for that strategy straight away. And then we round up the team with Tapu Fini. It is going to provide that Misty Terrain to stop any horrible status conditions coming on to Snorlax, like Toxic or anything like that. We've got the Heal Pulse there to further support the Snorlax and other members of the team, just storing that health back. And just kind of the move slots there, Moonblast and Muddy Water, a little bit standard there, but also very necessary necessary for Tapu Fini to use as well, holding the Wiki Berry just to kind of prolong the longevity of it. So that is the team all in all, guys. I will, as always, put the link for this QR code in the description below, so you guys can go and test it out if you haven't already. I think it's one of the most tested and played teams on the Battle Spot ladder. I think it has maxed out with the amount of battles that it's kind of clocking up at the minute at 99, I think you can see on your screen now, which is just crazy. So very fun team, and like I say, I think a lot of players that we might bump into today will probably be aware of it. I will also, Aaron doesn't need it, but just out of common courtesy for the guy that he is, because I know he would do it for anyone else, and I would do it for anyone else, but he doesn't need the plug. But Aaron has probably one of the best VGC YouTube channels going. He was probably one of the first people to start doing VGC centered like content on YouTube, and I took a lot of inspiration from Aaron's channel when I set mine up. So you know, I do have a lot to owe to Aaron as well as the rest of the community. So do go and check it out if you haven't already, for some crazy reason. If you don't know about it, go and check out his channel. I will link it in the description below, as well as all of his other social handles and things like that, so you can follow him and keep tabs on how he's doing and stuff like that. So we'll wrap things up there with that segment, and before we get in to the battling, I have to mention as well, so MBL Season 2 is going on at the minute, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I got a little delivery today, and I'm going to just stand up a minute so you can see it a little bit better. So I got this MBL, cool, my shirt came today, which is amazing, and it's so nice. The material is amazing, the print quality is awesome, it fits perfectly as well. I'm always a bit skeptical when I buy shirts and things off when I haven't been able to try them on, because I think, is it going to be the right size? Is it going to be a small but too big, or is it going to be just too small, or what? But this fits absolutely perfectly, so I am like super happy with it. I would 100% recommend you go and grab one if you can, and all proceeds from these shirts and things does go towards supporting the league in general, you know, supporting the analysts, prizes and things like that. So it's all proceeds are going back into the MBL to make it bigger and better, so you guys can help out with that by getting yourselves a nice t-shirt. And it's not like you're not getting anything out of it, you get a really super cool t-shirt. And it took, like, I'm in the UK, I think the printing's done in the US, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it only took like a week to get here, so it's fine, isn't it? That's pretty good. Anyway, guys, oh yeah, before I mention it, the link for the t-shirts, if you want to grab one, a t-shirt or a hoodie or anything like that, it will be linked in the description, and they are taking orders again. So while they are taking orders, if you do want one, get in there while you can, and make sure you pick yourself up an MBL t-shirt so you can look super hypey cool like I am today. Anyway, let's get into this episode, because I've talked for ages. I've shared my bromance with you that I have for Aaron and all that. So let's just get on with the battle and see if we can get some results with this team and not put it to too much of a shame. So hopefully it doesn't take too long to find our first opponent. I'm still waiting on getting a haircut, guys. I'm probably going to do it before the weekend. I need to do it before the weekend. I feel like I've got this like mop of hair that I can't do anything with. But you guys don't want to hear about my hair episodes, so I'll leave it there. That's what all we'll do. Yeah. Also, we were planning on doing a live stream this weekend on Saturday and Sunday for our Battle Spot doubles, and I'll come back to that after this game because I don't want to mess anything up by wasting time. So we have our first opponent of the day, and they are running a team of Alolan Ninetales, Arcanine, Garchomp, Alolan Muck, Celesteela and Tapu Koko. So quite standardish looking team. You're going to have the Alolan Ninetales there to provide that Auroraville support for them, pretty much the majority of the team. Offensive Pokemon there like Tapu Koko. Garchomp, you've got to wonder whether the Garchomp might be scarfed. Oh, it probably is just running the Groundium Z, but then it's going to be a toss-up. I think the Z move between the Koko and the Chomp, so we'll see what my opponent has it on there. We just need to be a bit precarious when we're playing around. The Alolan Muck's going to be a bit of a pain, but especially for the Snorlax, because we've got the berry on that. So we don't have a ground type user in the team, so it's going to be a bit awkward dealing with that. So what can we do? I think we could lead Persian here. It's not a bad lead. We need to be pretty quick about it though. Let's lead Persian and Arcanine. Let's bring Ninetales and Tapu Fini. That's what I'll bring. So I'm going to leave the Snorlax and the Pheromosa at home for this match. And we'll see how we get on. We're going to have a few games today, so we're going to have plenty of time to try and feature that speed swap Snorlax. It's pointless kind of going into games because, you know, when you build a team isn't just centered around, obviously centered around 2 Pokemon, but, you know, it has to function outside of that mode if you can't, or you don't feel comfortable going into it with it anyway. So, this lead automatically indicates to me that this Garchomp is probably scarfed. So what can we do here? Just leading next to the Celesteela here really does kind of indicate that. I think it's nice that we got the Intimidate off. I'm going to go for a Fake Out into the Garchomp, and I might switch in. You've got to imagine the Celesteela protects here or actually switches out. I'm you've got to think it switches out here, really. Because I kind of expected to switch out for Arcanine, and that would make me want to bring in Tapu Fini here. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to make that read. So we'll withdraw Arcanine. We're also going to preserve the Intimidate for later in the game if we do decide we need it to cycle it again. So we'll get that Misty Terrain up with Tapu Fini. Celesteela just protects, so no switch out there. But that's not the worst thing in the world. So we get the Fake Out onto the Garchomp. Take a little bit of rough skin damage. Probably just going to see an Earthquake from this Garchomp, to be honest. So we could if it's scarfed, we can get the Arcanine in for free and get another Intimidate off onto it, and then we can go for a Parting Shot into that Garchomp slot. I think what I'll do is Parting Shot into the Garchomp with Persian, just protect Tapu Fini here. I don't really want to take any unnecessary Earthquake damage, but that's not going to be the case because you see the Garchomp switch out. We do just protect Fini. Muck comes in on the field, and we do get that Parting Shot off into the Muck, which will be helpful because, I mean, it's going to mean that we're going to be able to get an Intimidate onto it as well with the Arcanine. So we will bring the Arcanine back in, get another Intimidate off onto the Celesteela and the Muck as well. So we'll put that Muck down to -2 as well as that Celesteela now. So the offensive threat isn't as much as it would have been prior to this. And there's a Leech Seed, but it is into the Fini, so we do avoid that this turn. Now, what do we do? Could Flare Blitz. The Celesteela, like, I still think it's going to switch out. Like, the Garchomp's a good thing to come in here. Now I could double into it with a Flare Blitz and a Moonblast to kind of cover that switch, which might not be a bad idea, because if we can get rid of the Garchomp, it makes Arcanine's life a heck of a lot easier. But I don't want just the Celesteela just to protect again, and then the Muck get an attack off for free. But I think we'll actually be alright. I think I'll go for that. I think I'll go for the Moonblast and the Flare Blitz into that Celesteela slot. No switch out. Okay, so we're going to actually just pick up a clean KO onto the Celesteela now. And the Moonblast will just go onto that Muck, which is fine. We'll probably see a knockoff maybe. Yeah, knock off into Arcanine. So we'll knock off that Choice Band. Okay. So we'll probably see the Garchomp maybe come back in now. No, it's a Tapu Koko. Okay. Right, you've got to expect the Thunderbolt to come out from the Tapu Koko into the Arcanine here. I'd imagine, I can't imagine attacking into the Finny on that slot. Like I could just protect Finny, but I want to get Finny. I want to take Finny out so I can get the Misty Terrain in to really reduce the damage on those electric type attacks. So I'm going to switch Finny out for Persian at this point. And I'll just go for an extreme speed into the Koko. Break any potential sash and get some damage onto it. So we just see the Koko go for a Volt Switch into the Arcanine. It will take us down. And we're going to see Garchomp come back in. But this is alright because we can now bring in Ninetales. We put so much pressure on that Garchomp. And a Toxic come out into the Persian. I don't mind that too much, to be honest. It's not ideal, but it's better than like losing our berry to a knockoff, for instance. So we'll bring in Ninetales. Do a Parting Shot? Or do I fake out the Garchomp? Or does the Garchomp just switch out here for the Koko? I think I'm going to go for an Aurora Veil, whatever at this point, with Ninetales. I think I'm just going to go for a fake out into the... It's just a worry if it is Scarfed Garchomp. Then it could go for a Rock Slide and flinch us. So I'm just going to go for the fake out into that slot. And if it does stay in and it does attack and it is Scarf, we'll be able to kind of judge speed tiers this turn. So we do get the fake out off. We'll take a bit of rough skin damage. Yeah, so that's Scarf Garchomp as we thought. So we do get the Aurora Veil up. You see a Poison Jab come out. But because of the -2 that it's on and the Aurora Veil that we've got up at the minute, Muck's able to take that really comfortably. Right. I think I'm going to keep Ninetales in now, and I'm just going to go for a Blizzard. And we could Blizzard and just I don't really want a Parting Shot just yet because I want the Koko to come in on the field before I bring Finny back. Because I don't want a Finny coming in and then just the Misty Terrain getting overwritten. So I'm just going to Foul Play into the Garchomp slot. And there's a Poison Jab from Garchomp. Should be able to take this. Oh, just about. Okay, we get the Foul Play on Garchomp. Do some nice damage to it. And a Blizzard. We really want this Berry on Persian to kind of proc sooner rather than later. Hopefully we don't see a knockoff come into that slot. And Poison Jab again, so it's just going to kill the... Oh no, it's gone into the Persian. Okay. So our Berry should proc. Yeah, there we go. That makes things a bit more manageable for us. I wonder if we can survive a Dazzling Gleam from Tapu Koko. Because you've got to expect that's what Koko goes for now. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to protect. No, I'm not going to protect. I'm going to just go for a Blizzard with Ninetales. I'm going to switch out Persian into Tapu Fini right now. because I don't want to go for the parting shot just to risk in case the Dazzling Gleam does pick up the KO, when I could just switch it out, and then if Ninetales goes down this turn, we've got Persian to bring back in, take advantage of that fake out the next turn if we want to. So there's the Dazzling Gleam as we expected. And we'll probably see a poison jab come out from this muck, I'd imagine. Yeah, just a poison jab, but it's not doing too much damage, which is fine. But the other thing we got to worry about as well is I don't think we've seen a Z move come out from my opponent yet, so you've got to imagine it is on that Tapu Koko. So does the Tapu Koko protect this turn? You've got to think it probably does. But then my opponent hasn't really been playing in a way where he's been kind of like with the Celesteela, I just didn't protect it or switch it out at all. So so we could go for a fake out and just a Muddy Water, or we could go for a Heal Pulse into the Persian, but I'm just going to fake out the Koko and go Muddy Water. And there's a protect from the Koko, so we could have faked out into the muck. This is slightly unfortunate, but you never know, we might get a bit lucky if Muddy Water hits and we get an accuracy drop. No accuracy drop and poison jab. Is this going to be enough? I don't think we need to get into range now to proc our berry. We're not really too close to that at all. You've got to think as well, this turn's probably the turn that you would use his E-move, if you go for it at all. So, I'm going to protect Finny this turn, expecting the Z move. Through Protect and the Aurora Veil, we might be able to just proc our berry, which would help us out massively. Oh, but we just see a Dazzling Gleam, so my opponent not even going for it. So Tapu Koko might not even have it. Persian does survive that. We'll get a foul play off. If we just attacked that turn, would have been in a way better position. Persian's going to go down now to poison damage. Yeah, I don't think we can win this now. No. And Aurora Veil wears off. So we are going to lose regardless. Facing down against a muck and a Tapu Koko. And there's the Thunderbolt. So I think being a bit too scared there of possibly the Z move coming out from the Koko has cost us a little bit, because we played very defensively in positions where we may not have needed to. Good game to my opponent, but just a bit lackluster from myself. I think we could have played it a bit more risky. And I think when we were feeling like we were playing it risky, you know, like where we thought our opponent was going to play defensive, they didn't. Like at the start with the Arcanine, we could have punished them in that situation. And then late game when we thought, you know, they wouldn't play as defensive, and that kind of yeah, it didn't really work out, did it? So they didn't, where we thought they wouldn't protect with the Koko, and they did. So yeah, just playing to their outs really, and we kind of didn't really capitalize on that, and that's what you kind of need to do in those really kind of close-knit games. But never mind, we'll move on to game 2. We didn't get to feature the Pheromosa or the Snorlax there, so hopefully we do get to feature it here. And we come up against Francesco from Italy, running a team of Snorlax, Alolan Ninetales, Mimikyu, Persian, Tapu Koko and Salamence. So a really nice mix of Pokemon here. We've got that Snorlax Ninetales combination there with the Aurora Veil that we need to be very careful of. We've got Mimikyu as well that can support that Snorlax super well. Persian offering the fake out support, parting shot support, and then the Intimidate uses Salamence and Tapu Koko just being an all-round terror. So how are we going to approach this game? Let's think. You've got to imagine that we might see Mimikyu lead here. So we could go... Do we want to lead Pheromosa? Like, Pheromosa's not great against Salamence though, is it? That's the only thing. And the Persian puts on a lot of pressure to kind of put us off bringing it. I think I do like Ninetales here though. Might go Ninetales. Arcanine. Yeah. Let's go Snorlax in the back. We'll bring Snorlax this game, and should we bring the Pheromosa as well? It's just if the Trick Room gets set up, it's going to be a bit awkward. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. Let's try it out. But late game, it's going to be really... Like the Pheromosa, if we're not in a Trick Room and we're facing down against things like the Persian, the Ninetales, and the Koko, Pheromosa is going to be very good in that situation. So it's just going to be how we manage things as we go and what my opponent kind of sets up as. We're going to lead off with Alolan Ninetales and Arcanine, and we'll see my opponent lead off with that Persian and Alolan Ninetales. So this isn't the worst lead for ourselves. My opponent is going to be able to get the Aurora Veil up, which is a bit unfortunate because we're going to get probably faked out on our Ninetales this turn to break the sash, stop the Aurora Veil getting set up. So we can just protect this turn. It's whether my opponent reads into that and just fakes out the Arcanine. But, what should we do? Let's launch into the Persian with a Flare Blitz if we do get an attack off with Arcanine. But you've got to expect my opponent to go for the fake out into the Ninetales here. Yeah. So there's the Aurora Veil. But even through the Aurora Veil, we should still be doing some good damage with this Flare Blitz. Yeah, we do over half, so that's decent. That's really good. And then the next turn we can take that Ninetales down to its sash and go for an Aurora Veil ourselves. So our Aurora Veil will last at least a turn longer than my opponent's, as long as that Persian hasn't got Taunt. That wouldn't be cool. But hopefully it hasn't. We can get the Aurora Veil up ourselves. So let's see what my opponent goes for. Opponent just taking his time here, and we just see a parting shot from the Persian is into the Arcanine. So we are going to get the Aurora Veil up on our end, which is nice. We should, like, even through the Aurora Veil, because we've got the choice band, even on -1, we still should be doing a heck of a lot of damage to that Alolan Ninetales. I would still expect to take it down to its sash. Hopefully we don't see Encore on this. Yeah, no Encore coming out from the Ninetales. We just see a Blizzard. We'll break the sash on our Ninetales. There's our Aurora Veil. And just another Flare Blitz. Yeah, it does take it down to its sash. It didn't even activate the sash, so I don't even know if it did take it down to its sash. Imaginary sash. So this turn I'm not going to do anything flash. I'm just going to Blizzard, and I'm just going to try and get as much damage onto this. I should have switched Arcanine out, preserve the Intimidate for later on in the game, bring in our Snorlax. No, I'm not going to switch anything in at the minute. I don't want anything taking any unnecessary damage, and I just want to try and get as much damage onto the Snorlax as I can right now. Because if it goes for the belly drum, then the more damage we can get onto it now, the better, really. We should survive a blizzard from the opposing Ninetales. So we get the blizzard off first, which is good because we'll take down that opposing Ninetales, do some really good damage to that Snorlax, get a critical hit, which is really unfortunate for my opponent. And then we'll get the Flare Blitz off, which should take it down into berry range, so we will burn that berry. And yeah, Ninetales, Arcanine will go down this next turn. We do proc that. Is it going to be Figgy Berry? And we just see a Facade. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Do I want to bring in Pheromosa, or do I want to bring in... I think I want to bring in Pheromosa, to be honest, because we might likely see the Persian come back in. We can protect just to burn that Fake Out, and then the next turn we're sitting in not a bad position to put a lot of pressure onto the opposing Snorlax, to be honest. So we'll just go for a Blizzard with Ninetales. And you've got to expect that the Fake Out has to come into that Pheromosa slot this turn. So we will just protect that. Snorlax revealing that it's got Protect as well, so that's nice. And there's the Fake Out. My opponent reading into the obvious Protect on Pheromosa here and just going for the Fake Out into the Ninetales, preventing any Blizzard damage, which is really good play. We've got a couple of options here. We could go for that Speed Swap right now if we want. We could switch out the Ninetales and go for the Speed Swap into the Snorlax. But it does depend on what my opponent's got in the back. To tap a Coco, I think we should be alright. I think I want to do it. We've got to do it at some point this episode, haven't we? So I'm going to bring in Snorlax on the Ninetales, and I'm going to go for that Speed Swap onto the Snorlax. So let's see what happens. It's all about trying these strategies out. So we've got an opportunity to do it here, so we may as well. So the Snorlax actually switches out. So this is looking better and better for us. Salamence comes in, but we will get intimidated. There's the Speed Swap. So Pheromosa gets through this turn. It's going to be pretty good. So we just see a Parting Shot into the Snorlax. And the hail stops. You've got to imagine that Snorlax has to protect this turn. I'm going to go for a Belly Drum with our Snorlax. And, do I protect the Pheromosa or switch in the Ninetales? So how many turns of Hail? His Hail has ended. We've got one more turn of Aurora Veil. Probably going to see I don't know what to do. Right, let's go for the Belly Drum with Snorlax here, and let's go for a Protect with Pheromosa, expecting that Protect onto the Snorlax. No, actually, let's go for the High Jump Kick in case they don't, and then it means the next turn we'll get our Ninetales back in. Okay, so we're going to see the Snorlax switch out. We'll probably lose Pheromosa here. We get the Belly Drum off with Snorlax, because we are super fast. Our Pheromosa is super slow, isn't it? I forgot. Yeah, we've swapped speeds, so Pheromosa is like the slowest thing on the field, so we probably won't even get an attack off with it. Oh, we see a Dragon Dance. We are going to get the High Jump Kick off, so if it does connect with the Persian, that's really good. Oh, it avoids. Okay, and our Aurora Veil does wear off. I'm just going to go for a... we've got to be really careful with this Persian now. I'm just going to go for a Facade into the Persian in case it doesn't go for a Fake Out and tries to go for a Foul Play into that slot. I'm going to switch out Pheromosa into Ninetales Or should I not? I shouldn't really. I shouldn't. No. I'm going to go for... Should I go for an acid downpour just to get some damage off onto the Salamence? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So there's the fake out. Is into the Snorlax. We're just going to see the Salamence go for another Dragon Dance. So it's just Dragon Dancing up. So we'll get some damage onto it with the Pheromosa this turn. The problem is that with the Pheromosa at this point, I don't want to... I don't want to just switch it out into the Ninetales. We could have switched out into the Ninetales that turn, but I don't want to switch in the Ninetales just to get KO'd to bring the... I feel like Ninetales is going to be better to bring in fresh than Pheromosa would be. Ugh, that damage is pitiful. So, what do we go after here? I think we have to go after the Persian, and I think I'll bring in the Ninetales now, because I'd imagine that the Salamence will probably attack into the Snorlax slot out of everything. You've got to imagine. Hopefully we don't see like a Supersonic Sky Strike into the Snorlax. That would not be good. Oh, it's just a Fire Fang. Okay. So we will lose Ninetales here. We are going to get the Facade off, though, onto the Persian. This will pick up the KO. Okay. That Salamence is pretty scary. Oh, and then my opponent's Aurora Veil just wears off now, so we kind of missed that earlier on. So the Ninetales on my opponent's team has obviously the Light Clay. So what we can do is just go for the Facade into the Salamence. I'm going to protect Pheromosa. You've got to expect the Snorlax to protect the Salamence, maybe target down to the Pheromosa this turn to try and get rid of that. So we get the Protect off Pheromosa. Snorlax protects, probably expecting that high jump kick into that slot. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Here is Tectonic Rage. Can we take this? Can we take it? I don't know. It's not Stab, it is +2. Snorlax is pretty bulky. I reckon we take it. I think we take it. I think Snorlax can take it. Yeah. Depends how it's trained. Oh, we take 3 HP. Okay, that's amazing. And we get the Facade, we pick up the KO. And now it's going to come down to a high jump kick. Hit or miss. What better way to end the game? Snorlax does go down, but it's done a really good job up to now. We got that speed swap onto it. We KO'd the Salamence. It was super threatening after the Dragon Dance. Managed to clutch on a win there. So, comes down to this Pheromosa. We've already missed one high jump kick. So, can we hit this high jump kick? I'm going to click it in. Hopefully we hit. Of course it gets it. Of course it gets it. Screw you, Protect. Good game to my opponent. I think you had to go for it there, to be honest. It's probably the best thing. Kind of relying on the miss or going for the double protect. Probably got a better chance of going for the double protect and getting it. Oh, that's such a shame. I'm so annoyed at that. Like, not annoyed, but I'm just like, you know, double protect is dumb. It is dumb. That would have been such a good win as well. But, yes, my opponent played it as well as they could have done and clutched out the win there, so never mind. A lot of fun that game though, and we nearly got a victory with the team, and we got the speed swap off as well, so nothing you could do in those situations. I don't think we could have done anything differently in that end turn. We could have went for a double protect ourselves, predicting the double protect, but then if we did that and my opponent just thought, well, I've got to go for an attack here, and then they attack, they're going to take down the Pheromosa, so it's a bit of a 50-50 with what you do there, so you can't win them all, I guess. But we have our next opponent of the day, and this will probably be the last one of this episode, guys. And they are running a team of Porygon 2, Gyarados, Snorlax, Arcanine, Garchomp, and Tapu Koko. So this looks a lot like Christopher's team, who won the recent Indianapolis International Championships this past weekend. So it's going to be a bit of a good test for the team, let's say that. Because we've got the Trick Room mode with the Porygon 2 to support the Snorlax. If it's the same Garchomp, it is going to be Assault Vest. We're going to see Electrum Z on the Tapu Koko, Super Berry on the Arcanine, and I didn't see the Gyarados, so I don't know what the Gyarados is going to be doing, but it's probably got Dragon Dance, it's probably got Shenanigans going on with it as well. So what are we going to do against this team? Let me think. I think Pheromosa is a very nice lead, although we do have to be a bit careful around the Arcanine and the Gyarados, but we can kind of mitigate that slightly with leading the Persian with some fake out support. Do we bring Ninetales? And we bring Snorlax, and let's bring Arcanine as well. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Maybe Ninetales would have been a good option there for the... well, it would have been a really good option, to be honest, for the Garchomp and the Gyarados if we saw it. And the Aurora Veil is always going to be super handy. But in the same regard, like Intimidate's going to be really good. And I want to try and get this speed swap off in this match as well if we can. So we see my opponent lead off with Arcanine, Tapu Koko. And we'll lead off with Pheromosa and Persian. So we could go for the Acid Downpour turn 1 onto that Koko. It is a little bit risky because the Koko could just protect. But I think the damage will do through the protect and might be enough to put it in range for a -1 poison jab the next turn. Does my opponent protect or not? That's the question with the Koko. I don't think they protect. I think they... Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Let's go for it. We need to be pretty quick, and let's go for a fake out into the Arcanine slot here. Ah, of course they protect. Of course they protect. So we'll get the fake out onto the Arcanine. Do a little bit of chip damage. And we'll do a bit of chip damage to this Tapu Koko along the way. See how much damage this does. I don't know if that's even going to put it in range for a poison jab, -1 poison jab. Probably not. But what we could do, we could actually go for we could go for the speed swap right now. I'm kind of tempted to do that. Let's go for the speed swap and go for a... Yeah, we'll have to switch Persian out into Snorlax. Yeah. Because if we lose the Pheromosa this turn, which we probably will... okay, so Tapu Koko goes down. Yeah, if we lose the Pheromosa, we've got the Persian to bring in the next turn for fake out support to further support that Snorlax. So things aren't all lost just yet. So we will bring in the Snorlax, get that speed swap off. We'll probably see an attack into the Pheromosa from the Arcanine here, I'd imagine. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This is a bit tricky now because we've got this super fast Snorlax and we've got to be a bit careful of the Will-O-Wisp as well on this Arcanine. If it's the same Arcanine, I think it's got Toxic, not Will-O-Wisp. So we could just power up belly drum up and then not worry about the toxic too much and just try and sweep as much as we can. So let's stop the trick room first port of call and go for a belly drum. And I think we're going to have to just prioritize going for a really quick sweep here if we do get toxic. But we might not. We might see a variation. It might be Will-O-Wisp. So we do get the belly drum off. But it will just power up our facade if we do get hit by a status condition. So we'll get the belly drum, we'll proc the berry, get all our health back. And there's a toxic. So, this is not the worst thing in the world because we can just start plowing through things. We know the Porygon 2 is probably not going to protect, so we can just attack into that slot. I'll just go for a parting shot into the Arcanine, and I'm just going to go for that facade into the P2. Because the P2 is going to go down to the facade this turn. If it doesn't, it could switch out, but whatever comes in on that slot is going down. The Arcanine protects. So we get the facade into the P2. Bye bye P2. So that's one down. We'll take a bit more damage from this poison. And this will start stacking up soon, so we need to be very careful with how we're playing this. If the Coco comes in now, I wonder if it will be. Yeah. Now my first immediate thought would be, let's attack into the Arcanine because the Coco has to protect. But the problem is, if that Tapu Koko doesn't protect and we don't attack into it, it can fire off a Gigavolt Havoc, which would probably pick up the KO onto the Snorlax, which wouldn't be good. So it's like, is my opponent trying to call my bluff by just attacking into it, expecting this to go into that Arcanine? I think I'm probably better off just going for a parting shot into the Arcanine here, going for that facade into the Tapu Koko. So yeah, no protects coming out. We get the extreme speed onto the Snorlax. We get the facade into the Koko. We will take it down. So we made the right choice there because, like I said, if my opponent had gone for that Gigavolt Havoc in there, then the game would have been pretty much over. We lost the Snorlax and lost all kind of momentum going into the next few turns. So we'll bring in Arcanine now for Persian. And we'll see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. So that Arcanine is now on -2, so it's not going to be hitting too hard. We're going to take a bit more poison damage. It's stacking up. Hopefully it's that Garchomp. The Garchomp would be ideal here because we know if it's the same Garchomp, it's Assault Vest, but it's Snorlax. And this is fine as well because we know the Snorlax can't protect, so we can freely just attack into that slot. And we should be fine. I'm just going to Wild Charge into Arcanine and Facade into Snorlax. I don't think the Snorlax will have Protect, so we should be able to just pick up the one-hit KO on it. Speed Swap for the win! Pick up the KO on the Snorlax, and let's see what damage is like on this. Jesus, that's insane. Okay, that was a critical hit. I was going to say that is incredible damage. I don't know if Snorlax is going to hang on here because of the toxic damage might stack here and might be enough to actually take us down. I think we'll probably go down to toxic damage now. But Snorlax has done more than enough to kind of... Oh, we do survive, but you've got to expect the Arcanine to protect this next turn. So we'll just go Wild Charge and Facade into that slot. I mean, it could recycle, but the Toxic's just going to stack again, and it's kind of a wasted turn, really. So, and my opponent just forfeits. So, we don't lose Snorlax. He comes out victorious, and we get that speed swap strategy on a roll there and do take a win. So good game to my opponent, and really nice to kind of feature that speed swap right at the death there. So that was really cool. It was a bit risky. I felt really nervous about taking that the opportunity to use it when we did, but we made the right decision, kind of sacking the Pheromosa and getting that Snorlax in to set up when we did. And we were fortunate enough that my opponent switched out the Tapu Koko just to protect it in case the poison jab was enough to pick it up from that range at -1. So thankfully we got to pull it off, didn't we, guys? And that's the main thing. Just a big, before we go, guys, because I will wrap things up here, just a big shout out to Aaron again for letting us feature the team and building it and providing it for not just me but for everyone else on the Global Link website. So like I said at the start of the episode, I will link it in the description below if you want to go and try it out for yourselves. Hop over there and jump on the battle spot and have some speed swapping shenanigans, because I'm sure you'll all have fun doing that. But we'll wrap things up there, guys, and we'll be back tomorrow with an episode of our Battle Spot Double Series, so do stay tuned to that. I've got it's going to be our last QR code team that will be playing this on the series for a long while, because we're doing that team building episode this weekend. So do stay tuned for more news on that, and we'll be back for that Battle Spot Doubles episode tomorrow. So guys, thanks so much for, as always, for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It is massively appreciated. If you've got any questions about the team or anything in the episode, just shoot me a comment below and I will get straight back to you. But until tomorrow, I will see you then. So take care of yourselves, guys. Whatever you're doing, have an amazing time, and I will see you tomorrow. So until then, bye bye.